Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today I have the Amazfit Active, and how I usually do this is I make a video where I unbox the watch and show you how to pair it to the phone and walk you through the setup process to make sure there's no issues. Then I wear the watch for a while, sometimes a few weeks, sometimes longer, and I give you a full review, show you all the features that it has, and then I do a customization video. First, I'll show you how to customize everything on the watch and go through all the settings there. Then I'll show you how to customize everything on the phone app. And there's some things that you could do only on the watch, and there's some things you can only do on the phone. But for the most part, there's a very good overlap between the two. So I'm going to go through the basic navigation of the watch, and with each feature I show you, I'll show you how to customize it and where to do it. So the first things first is we swipe down here, we get the control panel here, or the quick toggle list. And there's only two screens that you can have on here, and you can't do anything with the adjustment here. On some of the Amazfit products, you could actually push and hold one of these, and you can move it around and add them and delete them right from this screen. But you can't. You got to go to the settings screen. So let's go ahead and do that. We go into the settings, and we got to scroll down here to the preferences. And I'll go through all the important settings in a little bit, but I'm going to show you how to do this, like I said, with each step of the navigation first. So we're going to scroll down here to the control center. So let's go ahead and click on that. And then these are all the toggles that are on there now. Then if I want to add one, I just hit the button here. And I think I have all of them. Okay, there's a couple I could add on here. I just hit plus, and then it will be added on. And then all the grayed out ones are the ones that are already there. And then if I want to move the location of these things, then I just tap it, and then basically everything scrolls behind it, and I could move it to wherever I want. Or I could also just go ahead and hit the trash can, and that would remove it. It doesn't remove it permanently. You could always add it back in there, but it won't show up when you swipe down in the future. But if I like that spot where it is now, I hit the check mark, and now it's adjusted already. So nice and easy to do. Now, if you hit the button, you'll always go right back to the home screen. And if you are on the home screen already, then you get into the app list, and I'll show you how to customize this in a minute as well. But first, let me get into the widgets. So if you swipe over to the left here, we get into all the widgets, and you just got to scroll through them here and get to the one that you need, right? Then there's no, you can't push it or do anything or modify it. There's nothing you can change on this screen here. And while I'm here, let me just show you this, because sometimes this is an issue. For the music app, it's automatically always by default set to the music that's on the watch. And I don't have any music on the watch, so it's just that one default song that is on there. So if you don't like that and you're wondering why you can't control the music from your phone when you do this, and it's just on this screen, you just got to click this little button down here in the corner. And then it gives you this option, and then you can do the phone music control. You just click on that, and then you can control all the music that's playing on your phone through the buds, and you can move forward and pause and change the volume and all that other stuff. Now let's go ahead and show you where we can change the widgets here. Again, we got to go into the settings. We go up here to the settings, and we got to get down into preferences. And then if we scroll through here, and you got the widget. So we just click on that, and then these are all the widgets that are there. And then again, if I want to move them, I just tap one. Then I could scroll it just like the other ones, and I can delete it, or I could check it and move it to its new location. And then if I need to add them, I just hit plus. Then these are the grayed out ones are the ones that are already there, and the ones that are bold are the ones I could add. So you can see there's quite a bit there. Now, if you add all these, though, you'll be swiping forever to get through them all. So another great feature of the Amazfit watches is the shortcut menu. So if you swipe over here, we get these, and these are just all the shortcuts. These are kind of like widgets, basically, but you can see how much quicker I could scroll through them. There's like 10 there, and I could just scroll up and down real easy instead of having to, go through the widgets like this and, get all the way to the end. So let me just get back into here. And then this is, again, my shortcuts. If I hit the settings bar here, same setup as all the other ones. If you tap one of these things, then you can move it up and down if you want, and then you could like that location, or you could delete it. And then if you want to add them, you just hit plus, and I'll just show you, get to the top here. These are the ones that I could add. And again, these are the grayed out ones, that are ones that are already there. So there's a lot that you can put on there if you'd like. Then if you swipe up, you get into the notification panel here. Not too much you could adjust on that one. Now, if you hit the button, like I said, if you're not on the home screen, you go right back to the home screen. But if you are already on the home screen, you hit it and you get into your app list. And these are all the apps here. You could, modify these in a minute, but these are all the ones that are there. All the basics are there, obviously, and then there's a couple of games and stuff like that you could add on there. You can't modify or move or do anything on this screen. Okay, so to modify the apps, we got to go down here. I got to get into settings again, and I got to find preferences. Then we got to get into app list, which is right here. And then this is the app list. Okay, now I could, I can't add any on here, and I can't take them away for some reason. But if I push on one, I could move the location, again, just by scrolling on the back, and then I check it. To add one or remove one, you have to get into the phone app, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Another nice feature of the Amazfit is that you have this button that takes you back to the home screen. And if you are on the home screen, again, it will take you to the app list. But if you long press it, you can get a feature. So right now it's set to go to my settings. So if I just push and hold, it goes to that. But I can change that if I want. If I just, again, go into the preferences, then I'm going to go into long press side button. If I hit this, now, anytime you press and hold this, you could have any of these apps toggled on. I mean, so if you're using a flashlight a lot, or you want to use the phone call, the phone app, or any of these other ones, you could just scroll to here, and any one of these you could have set to be quickly toggled by just pushing and holding the button. So now I have it set for when I push the button and hold it, it takes me to my settings menu. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And I'm not going to go through all these settings, but I'll just go through a few just so you can get the feel of what's available here in case you don't know where to find something. So this is how you change your watch face, the time format and the date format. Not too much there to talk about. But there is a nice feature on Bluetooth. So this is kind of safe for premium models. But if you have a headphones, you just put them in pairing mode. Then you just tap on this, and then it will automatically be searching for it. And again, if your buds are in pairing mode, it will find it. I haven't had any issues with it. Then we got the display, a couple of features here. Obviously we could change all these things. The always on display is nice with the Amazfit because it does give you a style format. So if you click on this, so you could just have it follow whatever design you have, or you could pick from a style here. And there's like 8 of these always on displays, and these are pretty consistent through all the Amazfit products. But you could just have one of these go on. So if you had a digital watch face, you could still have an analog always on display. Or if you just happen to like one of these and it's black and it saves you some battery, then you could go ahead and use that. So let's get out of here. The only other thing is with the always on display, you can enable it. If you hit the smart mode, then the watch will decide kind of when it thinks you need the always on display to work. You could schedule it if you want, which is probably the most easy thing to do. But if your schedule does change a lot, then the smart mode might be helpful. So, basically if you're going to sleep or something like that, it won't turn on the always on display. You could also have it on all day, or you could have it set to go off. Let's get out of that. The wake up on wrist, you could just change the sensitivities on that one so it's more sensitive if you feel like it's not going off enough. Theme style, a couple of different icon packs that you can change, 3 of them. And these are kind of standard on all the Amazfit products. And if we just scroll down to the bottom here, if you toggle this one on, then the screen will turn on for every notification that you get, which will use a little bit more battery. Then if you turn this one on, this will wake during workout. So that means anytime you're working out, the screen will stay on for the entire time, so you can glance at your data very easily, but it will use up some battery. So keep that in mind. So let's go into a couple more things here. We're going to get into sound and vibration. Again, mostly straightforward stuff here, but I just wanted to point out that you could, when you do get a notification, you could have it chirp and do a little ring for an alert, and then you could also have it vibrate. And you could have them, do both of these, or you could have them, do one or the other, whatever you want to do there. Voice broadcast would be if you're working out, and if every time you make a mile or something like that, it will just tell you that you made the mile and tell you, your time and calories and all that kind of stuff, and your speed, whatever different workout that you're doing. And then if we scroll down here, you could change the vibration intensity. Let's get into workout here. So let's click on this. So the Amazfit Active has 7 auto-detect workouts. So that means when it detects that you're doing one of these, it will start keeping track of it, basically. So if we look here, I'll just click on what they are. And you can toggle some of these on, some of them off, all of them on, all of them off, whatever you want. And then you could also get a little alert so that when it does detect it, it will just notify you. And then if you're really not walking, you're just kind of getting up and going somewhere quick, you could just turn it off. Then if you feel like it's turning on too often or too little, you could change the sensitivity on this. Now, the only thing to keep in mind, which I found out the other day, is if you go to an event that you're going to be walking a lot from different places, and then it's always basically going to be detecting that you're walking, and then it's going to turn on the heart rate frequency. It's going to turn on the SpO2 frequency more for basically detecting the workout data, and also it will turn on your GPS. It will burn through data very quickly with that as well. So just keep that in mind if you are doing something that you're doing some walking or being active, but you're really not working out and you don't need it to track it. You might want to turn those things off. If you're going on vacation and sightseeing or something like that, you might want to turn that off so you're not killing the battery. Now this little notification here, this is just basically, it keeps track of the GPS satellites around you and where you are, and so that when you start working out, it will have a quicker lock, hopefully. It's not a big deal if this expires. It will just kind of, re-enable it. The only issue is, like I said, it might take a couple more seconds for it to lock onto your position before you start working out, but not a big deal at all. And you could just turn on the notifications on and off for that thing. So let me get into preferences, and this is basically where all the customization is here. So you got do not disturb, so you toggle this. And here we go, we could toggle it on and off, or you could enable it in a couple of different ways. We could do a smart enable, where the watch just keeps track and it decides when it needs to enable it or not. Or you could actually have a physical schedule where you could put in the times for that. So that's nice. Let's get out of this. And if we get into sleep mode, same kind of thing here. We could toggle it on and off manually, or you could have it smart enabled, so the watch knows when you're sleeping and it will just kind of engage it itself. And you could also have a sleep screen activated when it does and detect that you're sleeping. So let me just show you what that looks like. If we go into the top here, I'm just going to hit this little sleep screen. Now we got to cover the screen. Then we turn it back on and you get this. So instead of getting a big bright screen on, it will dim it down obviously, and then it has just minimum data on here, so it's not very bright and flashy, and it doesn't wake you up. It will also turn off the wake to rest feature. So again, when you're sleeping, it is a very good job of not bothering you or your partner during the sleep. Okay, so we're back into settings. Again, that was the sleep mode. You got battery saver mode that you can turn on and off. There's also a clock display where it'll have a battery life of like 50 days or something like that. Off wrist lock, you could type in a password here. So if the watch detects that it's not on your wrist any longer, then you'd have to enter a password to activate it again. So if someone steals your watch, they won't be able to use it. This is where you can customize the long press button here. We did that before. The app list, this is where you customize the apps that we did before. This is where we do the control center, the widget. And then we got list style. We could have the classic layout where it does that list. Then we also have this 9-box grid, which I don't really like it because there's no names on it, so you'd really have to know what all the icons are to use it. And then that's the classics. That's the one I usually wind up with. Then we got the Alexa built in. You could change the language on that, the watch language, and morning updates. So what the morning updates are is you get a text every morning, and it has this information on there. You could toggle it on and off, and let's go ahead and hit this and we can customize it. So it has the weather, the battery, your readiness, all this kind of stuff. And then you could add, I think I have just about everything on there. Only the cycle tracking I could add. So those are the things that you would get every morning. It'll just give you this data quick, which is actually kind of nice, but you could toggle that on and off. So the system, this is just where you do a, shut it off, and you could do a factory reset and restart and all that kind of stuff. Then the last thing is just with watch faces here. This is kind of a cool one. When you turn it on, it does this kind of thing. I don't know. Some of them have some graphics on there. So most of the watch faces in the Zepp app are not really customizable. You can't really change any of the colors or displays, or the information is listed on there. So basically what you see is what you get. Sometimes you can change one or two things, but there's a fairly good selection of watch faces there, so you should find something that you like. And if you don't like this one, you just hit it here, and then you can change the watch face like this. Let me see. I just wanted to show you what the actual bezel looks like here. So you can just see what that is. So that is the full screen. Okay, so that's all for the watch. Now let me get into the app to show you what's going on with that. Actually, I'm not quite done yet with the watch. After reviewing the video, there was one portion I left out about how to customize your workout. So let's get into that now. So we got to get into the apps, and we got to pick out workout. And then these are all your workouts. So we could just scroll down to the bottom here, and there's a couple other things that we can do. You got your workout settings, which are basically the settings that are in the preferences that are in the main page that I already went over, but they're just here just for your convenience, I guess. Then if we go into more workouts, these will list all the other workouts that are available. And if you go into like dance here, we click on here, and then these are a whole bunch of different dance exercises that you could add. Now, if you want to add it to your main screen over here, all you need to do is go down to the bottom again, hit this little icon, and then we hit add. And then we could, again, you go into your dance or, whatever you want, your indoor workouts. But if we hit dance, and then I just add ballroom dancing. So now that is on my main list, and now I can scroll and put it wherever I want. I'll put it on the top here so we could see it. Then I'll just OK that. And now this is where it is right at the top there with all my other exercises. And then if I want to move this, and I maybe don't want it at the top here anymore, I quit dancing. So let's go here, and then I could just scroll it down, and you could do this with any of the other workouts that you have here. And then if there's some workouts that you just never use, if you're never in the pool, so go ahead and click that, and then I could just delete it. And then it will not show up on my workout list here. So you can see ballroom dancing's there, and the pool swimming is gone. So nice little things that you can work out instead of having to scroll through every exercise every time you want to do something. And the ones that you use frequently, you can put right on the top here, so it's nice and easy to access. Okay, now I think it's time to get into the app and do some more stuff. So this is what the Zepp app looks like right here. Let me just go ahead and click on that. And I'll just show you how to do a couple of customizable things in here. This is the home page. There's 4 categories on the Zepp app, or 4 sections. And then you could just, this is basically the data that you have. And if you want, you could edit this right here. Then these are the things that are on there now. These are the things that are not on there. And if you want to erase this thing from the screen, you just hold the hamburger menu here and just slide it under the hide in the home page, and it's gone. Then if you want to change the location of one of these things, you just kind of move it up and down like that, and then we hit save, and that's how that works. We got the sleep mode right here. This has all the data for your sleeping in there, and it's actually pretty nice display here. It does give you a lot of information about that. There's really nothing to edit on this screen. Then we can go into workout. This gives you your history, and on here you could basically just do the same thing as before, but for some reason it doesn't say edit. It just says card sequence, moving them up and down, but you really can edit them, because you could do this, and I could just slide it down under hidden, and now it's not on my home screen there, and then I could save it and it's not there. So I don't know why it's called different things like that. So you can see that's where the card sequence is, but if I go to the home app, it says edit the data card, which is the same function though, so I don't know why it calls it different things, but that's just the way it is. So let's go into the profile here, and this is some watch faces that you could adjust. You can click on them from here. This is the App Store, going into all the different apps, and then there's all your Amazfit products are listed right there. And then these are a couple of things that are not really all that useful, but maybe a little bit. So the membership. This is if you are a membership of any of the Amazfit subscription services that they recently added, which I'm not really a big fan of, but it's there. The Zepp coach, you can change your workout schedule there. If you have a gift card you want to use, goals, all these stuff. Third-party accounting, this one might be interesting. So if you do love having data in the Google Fit, or you used it in other smartwatches or something like that, you cannot download this app to the Zepp app, and you can't use it on your watch, but you can have the data from your watch being transferred to Google Fit. And all you need to do is link it, basically give it permissions, and sign in. There's also a few other popular apps here that you could use. And then settings here, this is just a couple of little things here, nothing too significant. Big thing is the units. You just got to change those to whatever you want. And then let's get back here. And I'm going to go here, and then we just hit the actual watch that you're using. And this is kind of where all the customization is. You can see the watch face that I left off on is on the screen here, so that, I don't know, it's kind of a neat feature that's linked like that. But let's go into health monitoring. All this stuff can be adjusted. So the heart rate monitoring frequency you can change. We just click on this, and this is what you can do. So some features like the readiness score and things like that, you need to have it at 1 minute, but you could change it, and then the less frequent you're reading your heart rate, the less battery you're going to use. So keep that in mind. And so you also have high heart rate alert and low heart rate alert. And to have these enabled, you basically have to have your heart rate detection at 1 minute. If you do it to 5 minutes, I think these will gray out. So now you can't access these. So you have to have this at 1 minute if you want to use those. And active heart rate monitoring. So if it does auto detect that you're doing physical activity, it turns on the heart rate frequency. So this is your sleep mode. So if it detects that you are wearing this while you're sleeping, it will turn this on. And you could also have it measure your sleep quality, which a couple of times it did come up that there was an issue for me. And there is an issue, so it was accurate. So that's very good. Auto stress monitoring here. And then if it does detect the high stress rate, you could have it tell you to stop breathing and relax. And then the auto SpO2 monitoring here, you could turn this on and off, and then you could have the low blood oxygen alert. Let's get into notifications here. These things you could turn on or off your goal notifications and standing reminder, because the standing reminder was kind of annoying for me. If you have a desk job or something and you're sitting all day, obviously you're sitting and you can't get up and stretch and run around all day, but it just it will keep telling you, get up and stretch. Hey, it's a good idea to stop moving. So you could disable those things. So if you click on app alerts though, these are all the alerts. These are all the apps that you're going to get alerts from. So if you have an app that's alerting you on your phone, but you're not getting it on your watch, it's probably because it's not toggled on here. So go through them and turn those on. There's also fast reply management in this screen. So this is where you can customize your quick toggle text that you can send back to people through your phone call or through the text. So these are the ones that are in there now. I don't use this all that frequently. So you could edit these if you'd like, and then you could also add new ones if you like, and you could type in whatever you want. Then again, this is the watch faces. And there's a bunch of categories here. And if you click on this one, click more here, you'll get some more categories there. Now, the only thing I want to show you is, because I do get questions on this sometimes, Amazfit allows you to add a photo on your watch face. Let me just show you how to do that. It's in custom background. And if you look here, you can see, I'll just show you this here, but it says time, it's on the left, and time on the right, time in the center. But if you click on any of these, you'll see them all right here again. So, you could just click on anything and then pick whichever one you want. If you don't want it on the left, you can click on this, and then the background you're going to change. And so if you want to change the background, you could click on this, and now you could take a photo right now, and that would be a watch face, or you could go to your photo gallery and pick a photo from there if you'd like. So you can see the colors here. This will change the font text. So if you see up there, it's white. And let's click blue just so you can see the difference. And now it's blue. And that's how you can customize that and make that your photo, which is kind of nice. Kind of a neat feature that Amazfit gives you. Let's get out of watch faces. And this is the App Store. There are a good amount of apps here. I don't know if any of them are all that useful, but they're there, and they've gotten much better, but I don't really use any of the apps from there. So that's what that is. And this is where the watch settings are. These are where you can customize a lot of the things that we already did on the watch. But here's, display, and that's all the stuff that we already talked about. So, sound and vibration, and the only new thing here is that if you really want to go to the effort, you can make your own vibration pattern. So if you just scroll down here and hit vibration, and then so incoming call, it's the default. But if you click on this, now I made a couple here, and these are all my vibration patterns. So you could have, kind of any vibration pattern that you want. If you want to add one, you just click on this. Then every time you hit this would be the vibration. So you can do 10 vibrations in a row, and then you'll know that's, a call or a text or, whatever. And then you could save that if you want. And then you could pick it to activate any of these notifications. So we got the workout, same thing with the workout detections or the categories here. These are the workouts that the Amazfit Active auto detects, and same thing for most of the Amazfit products. But you could click those on and off if you want. You can change the sensitivity to high, standard, or low. And the do not disturb, same thing, we could auto enable that, or we could actually schedule a time. Sleep mode, same thing, we could have the sleep screen enabled on that one. Off wrist lock, we have that one. You could read through all these. You could also edit the long press beside button, edit the widgets here. I don't know if this is a little easier to do on the screen than on the watch, but you could just take this and hit the hamburgers here and you just slide it down, and now that's hidden. And then these are the only widgets that are there, and then you just hit save. Then we also got the control center, and this lists all the control centers. I mean, it might be a little easier here just because it's easier to see them all on a bigger screen. And then again, you could adjust the order of these things, or you could get rid of them and just slide them under this bar like this, and then it will disappear from the quick toggles when you slide down on your watch. I'm just going to discard that. Then the system language and the morning updates. Like I said, these are the toggle it on and off, and those are the morning updates that are available. Now we got app list management. So remember, on the watch, we could not add or subtract any apps for some reason. I'm not sure why, but here it is here. These are the apps that I have listed, and I have all of them there. So let me just get rid of 2 of these. You just hit minus, and they go away. And now they're not on your app list anymore. And then if I want to add it back in, I could just hit the plus, and now it's back in there. And then again, I could just kind of move the location of these. If I could hit this icon, maybe I can't. There we go. Then you can just move them any way you want there. And we'll save that just for the heck of it. So shortcut cards. This is when you have the watch and we swipe over this way, and then we got all those shortcut cards there. You click on here, and we just scroll up there, and that's where they all are. And again, there is quite a bit of these, so you can go through these very quickly just by swiping them up and down. You could adjust them just by kind of moving them like that. And then again, if you don't want them to be on there, for some reason Amazfit calls this resident and non-resident. So the resident are the ones that will be shown, and the non-resident will not be shown, or they'll be hidden. So you can just slide this over the bar, and then that one is gone. Then I hit save, and then it will be set on the watch, which is great. And there's a couple of app settings here if you want to add a membership card. If you want to set an alarm clock or an event, you could do that on these things. The only thing that fell off on the Amazfit Active is that used to be a voice memo on here, and that seems to be gone, and it's no longer an app. That was an app that I didn't use frequently, but I did use, but that's gone now. Then after you go through the apps here, there's not too much else that's on here that we really need to go over. So I think that would cover all the customizations that you can do on the Amazfit Active. If there was any settings or features that you saw in this video that you didn't know about, I'd appreciate you put it in the comments and let people know about it. Obviously, I'd really love it if you could subscribe and like the video. That helps me out a lot. And of course, if I missed any customizations or a feature on here, please let me know in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you spending this much time with me, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.